Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Anonymous, and in this channel we talk about gang stalking. We talk about my experience with it, and we talk about manipulation, dark psychology, anything that has to do with gang stalking. In this video, I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about my biggest win in gang stalking, and that is the moment that I didn't allow gang stalkers to torment me. So, as you might know, I live in this car, all right? Now, my two front windows are darkened. My two rear ones are limo tint. So from the outside, you cannot see anything unless you literally get your face super close to it. And even then, you don't really see it clearly. Now, keeping that in mind, there's times where I'm a man, I have to and when I'm getting gang stalked, gang stalkers who torment me, they have tormented me in the manner where I'm trying to, get myself off. And they just start shaking the car. Especially, they shake it harder when I'm getting closer. In the beginning, I was like, oh, someone's watching. But, after I got disconnected for the first time, I realized that, that there were literally people. Even when I'm parked in a desolated area with no one around, gang stalkers will be out looking for my car and to torment me while I'm in it. So, and I have seen them switch places, trade places, wherever I go, where I'm in my car and then someone is just swaying the car and going. And then it's very slow, very low, and very, it's not subtle all the time, but depending on what I'm doing, it goes sometimes to be really subtle. When I don't notice it, then they do it harder. Also, when I'm falling asleep, they shake it even harder to wake me up, to keep me from sleeping. Now, it's been 4 years. I'm used to it. I don't care anymore. But when I did, it was a total nightmare because I would be trying to, get myself off, or I would try to smoke some tina or amphetamine. And they would be just banging on here, even when I'm in a desolated area. Listen, so as a homeless person, no one bothers you, no one, and people typically do not want to look into what one is doing until you are obviously secretive about it, right? So I sit in my back seat if I'm gonna do any type of illegal activity. And I put these seats forward all the way, and you can't really see anything. So just FYI, I drive a 2016 BMW 328i, and it is I'm this close to finishing to pay. I'm this close to finish paying it off, and the seats lay completely flat, and the seats, they go all the way to the front, all the way, and I have a little 2, 4, 6, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6-7 feet wide, and and from the floor 3 feet. If I push the seats forward, it's 3 feet. So it's for someone who doesn't have his own space, it is a comfortable space. I have the bench seats, and and there's times where I actually cover the sides, and I'm parked in a desolated area. So if I'm being tormented and I'm going at it, you cannot see the inside of the car unless you purposely are trying to see inside of my car, and even then it is difficult. So now, putting that into consideration, when that was happening, I said, you know what, I am not gonna allow them to torment me anymore. So I have a clean record, a clean criminal record. I have nothing. And additionally, I purposely do not park anywhere in a school or wherever. So I'm in a desolated area. And I typically park close to a police station purposely. So if I'm trying to get myself off, and you cannot see outside, but gang stalkers, if they're touching your car, so they know what you're doing. And before I allowed it to torment me. So when I'm going at it, I hear them like to just like knock on the window. When I park underneath a tree for shade, they like throw the little beats from the car from the floor onto my windows to distract me from finishing myself off. And let me tell you, and they have tried. Even one time, someone pulled out a phone and tried to snap a picture of it. But I used to allow them to torment me because I would stop doing what I was doing, and I would like just do something else, until they left. But guess what? They don't leave. They're gonna be doing that the entire day. So I was like, I have to power up and I have to keep going and finish what I intended to do, even when there is someone shaking my car. Since I made that decision, I have made it a point to make sure that I finish, even when someone is shaking my car. And and they have tried shaking my car, they've tried banging on the window, and I'm still at it, and I finished myself. And let me tell you, it's glorious. Because I'm not allowing them to actually I am not allowing them to torment me. I am refusing to be tormented. And the things that I have heard them say is, so there was one time where I was parked like around here, and I was going at it, I was smoking, and not to glorify any type of drug use. Please do not use any drugs, all right? Don't. It never leads to anything positive other than my HIV status, but it's not going to lead you to anything positive, all right? And just know that just don't. Don't. If you have curiosity, just don't. It can lead you through a very dark path. Actually, I am one of the few people that I know that engages in that and has all their teeth, is in great shape. Especially if they haven't been manipulated by a bunch of crack-addict psychopaths into losing everything. Even when I lost it for a little bit, but I'm back. Anyways, so I heard a voice of a girl and a voice of a girl. She was shaking the car, right? And I just kept going. And she shook it harder, and I just kept going. And I finished. And then I heard she was having a conversation with someone. And then I heard she was having a conversation with someone else. She said, I can't fucking believe this. He really doesn't care if we're here or not. I can't believe it. And then I pulled out my pipe, began smoking. And the guy said, he doesn't give a fuck? And I went for another one. And I was watching porn, and I even made it a point to be as filthy as possible, and I fucking went for it. And I finished my second one. And she was like, he doesn't give an F if we're here. Let's leave. And they left. One time, before, even when so this is the thing. I used to feel persecuted. And due to that, I have a person with a normal sense of self and a normal sense of morality, would know that I wouldn't want anyone to watch me do any drugs. I don't. I am not some type of what do you say those? I don't like to be like I'm not a voyeur. I'm not into voyeurism. Unless I am. But typically here I'm not, because I have respect for the people around me, And but that was the hardest thing that was the hardest for me to see. And this is how I found out. So I saw there's a lot of people that live in their cars, Like they all have the same shady spots. So like I was looking at my, so like I like look from far away, and then I was like from far away. I went to like the store, and then when I was coming back, it was like the daytime, and you cannot see when these windows are up. You cannot really see inside of the car. You cannot really see inside the tent. And I got really really close, so you cannot see anything. Especially when I have my windshield covered. So that's when I was. That's when I realized they are gang stalkers. Gang stalkers are tormenting me. It is not normal people. So that is when I was like, okay, so what can I do to not get in trouble legally and still be able to rock my socks off? Well, first of all, I'm not showing off. I'm not exposing myself to anyone. I'm in my car and I'm making an obvious effort for no one to see. But if someone is going to come and try to see purposely into my car, is that my fault? If you know law and if you know that, please let me know, because I'm dying to know about that. But anyways, you can't see anything from the outside. And this time it was night. And it was like 3 a.m, and I was like, I was doing drugs and I was getting myself off. Everything was covered. I was in the back seat. I think I was even like laying down, so that you couldn't see anything. And I saw if someone pull up a hand with a phone, and then in the flashlight on, like someone took a picture. You know what I did? I kept going, because I know that you cannot take any pictures, because my freaking limo tint is limo tint. It's like 5%. And yeah, that's the truth, is that it was an intent at terror. They were trying to terrorize me, to torment me, and I didn't allow them to. So now, guess what? That was one of the biggest things that allowed me to get them off my back. Not caring and not giving importance to their intents of tormenting you, because that's what they use. They use your morale against you. It's like, oh, someone is gonna watch me, But I had to think of it logically, which before I wasn't, because I didn't know as much of gang stalking than I know now. So then I was like, well, I have to think logically. I am parked here. All my windows are dark. I am in the back seat. My windshield is covered and is pointing towards a vacant lot. There is no one around me, and if there's someone around me, they are hiding. I'm not exposing myself to anyone, so by thinking of it logically, it is a gang stalker. It is someone trying to see. So, if someone watched, if I've had that instance one time, I was underneath the bridge, and I was like, it's here, and my windows were covered, but someone tried to look inside my car. And I had like my pipe, and then someone looked, a woman, but she immediately looked away and kept walking. So people are scared. The only people, she obviously didn't want to see that, and I was obviously hiding from it. So any normal person that would see that would look away and keep walking, right? Because it is them being nosy. So that's the truth of that. That's the crux of it. That normal people are not going to be tormenting me. Only gang stalkers are going to be tormenting me, And the moment you do not allow them to torment you, you are literally taking all their power away. So you have to think logically. What would a non-gang stalker person do? So this was really hard that was incredibly hard for me to conceive, because I had been tormented for so long that I believed that everyone was a gang stalker, and I completely lost sight of what a normal person is. I just completely lost that concept, because I forgot what normal people were. Now, after I disconnected, I was able to kind of recalibrate my perception of reality. And when that happened, that is when I was able to make these changes in my behavior, so that I wouldn't be tormented anymore. So then, when you're connected, your body, your mind will play tricks on you, and you're gonna see the shadows that gang stalkers do to make you believe that they're there. But your mind will play tricks on you. But the fact that I didn't even allow the actual gang stalkers to trick me when my mind was playing tricks on me, they didn't work. So even though I felt them, the energy move or the gang stalking sensation, I felt the interruptions, I heard the interruptions, but it didn't make a difference in my behavior. I behaved in the way that I wanted to behave, regardless of gang stalkers being there or not. Now, I am not recommending you to do anything that I'm doing, but but what I am going to tell is that the message in this video is that not to allow the presence of gang stalkers to change your behavior to the detriment of your happiness and of your goals, of your dreams, whatever it is that you want to do. Do not allow the presence of gang stalkers to derail you from what you want to do, because it's embarrassing. Because it can produce shame. If you're getting gang stalked, you have to be shameless. And only because they're going to use that shame against you. And only without shame, you are going to be able. The shame is one of their major tools. Only when you become a shameless individual, only then you are going to be able to get your freedom back. Anyways, I have to go to the doctor. I have an appointment today. And, well, please understand this. If you're being tormented by gang stalkers, you have to figure out what is it that I want to do that they're trying to have me not do. For me, it was to shoot a load, and if they wanted to make it hard for me to smoke crystal meth, to make it unpleasant. And guess what? I said, I'm not doing that anymore. But it is my right if I want to. Why aren't they doing that to any other crack addict that I know? It was only I. So fuck you. I'm gonna fucking smoke all the crystal meth that I want whenever I want to, even though I'm not doing that now. But I simply refuse to allow anything to, except the law, of course, to stop me from doing something that I want to do. Especially if it is a torment that is going to actually affect my well-being, even though regardless of what it is. Let's say it's pot. And of course you don't want to be smoking pot in public. But they're going to be using that. Like let's say that I'm trying to light my joint, and they're going to be doing that to make it hard. If it wasn't still illegal. Any type of illegal substance. The lesson doesn't change. Regardless of what it is that they are going to try to have you be embarrassed. Even when no one is supposed to be watching you, they're going to be watching you. And if you allow them to stop you, you are giving them power. So you have to take all the power away by being shameless and doing what you want to do, regardless of them tormenting you or not. Because once you behave like you want to behave, even when they're there, that takes all the power away. And let me tell you, there is nothing more satisfying than taking all the power from the gang stalkers. If you're getting gang stalked, don't allow them to torment you in whatever it is that you do. And you're gonna get the biggest shot of pride, of happiness, of power that you have felt in a very, very long time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.